to talk about ways through which we can transition them to TVET. And TVET means Technical Vocational Education Training. And so in concert with the Office of the Vice President, His Excellency Jeremiah Van Koon, and in concert with the Nigeria Maritime Authority, Nigeria Water and Sewer Corporation, the National Food Authority, the United Nations Development Program, UCADA, and other private sector stakeholders. We will be launching officially what we call the Skills for Work Accelerator Program for Black riders. And this will take place on April 25th, just about 10 days from now. The President of the Republic of Liberia is expected to serve as chief launcher this occasion. There are several other national stakeholders and dignitaries that have been invited. Now, the fundamental question here is why this endeavor? As much as it is called the Skills for Work Accelerator Program, we also call it the Modified Riders Transition to TVET program. We believe that one of the overarching problems faced by our country today is not just the issue of poverty or unemployment, but massive skill gap among our young people. Most of our modified riders have been riding back, spent over the last 5 to 10 years. And they need a second pathway. And we believe that TVET provides a viable alternative and the vehicle through which they can not only transform their life, but also contribute to Liberia's economic development. And so thus the importance of this program. We also believe that it is easy to trap on keeping them in a traditional program where they go to for 12 months or more will be really challenging. So we have designed the program to cater to that aspiration. And so it's going to be an accelerated program that runs between 3 to 6 months. And our theory of change is very simple, that if we can invest in transitioning motorcyclists at least 1,005 annually, by 2029 we should have at least 15,000 motorcyclists across Montserrat and 11 other counties. So we have Montserrat, we have Lofa, we have Bombing, we have Bone. So Lofa, Bone, and Montserrat will be in year 1 and 2. Grand Bassa, Bombing, and Grand Kipman will be in year 3. Nimba, Magui, Grand Gina in year 4. And Grand Crew and Simon and Maryland will be in year 5. Our hope is to raise at least close to $1 million, approximately 906,000 annually for this event, which will total over the span of the next 5 years, over 3 million, to enable us to actively and successfully transition 15,000 of our motorcyclists in TVET. And this is not going to be a Montserrat thing. We are in active communication and partnership with technical colleges across the country, in Lofa, in Maryland, in counties that I just named. And so for us, it's a big deal because we believe that as part of achieving the AAID for young people, which constitute the single largest segment of our population, towering around 78% of our population, in addressing the issue of at-risk youth and vulnerable youth across this country, we can no longer continue to play upon on the plight of our motorbike riders. So it's important that we do every effort in concert with the Office of the Vice President to launch this program, and we are inviting you, the members of the press, to come out on April 25th, 2025, at the SKD Gymnasium, where this program will be launched. I will yield some time to the president, who will give more details, and then we will entertain questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon. For the records, I'm John A. Kenyon. Pleased to be here for the second time to speak to the nation. And I really appreciate the leadership of this great ministry for the transformation here. Except where you will not want to admit the fact that there is a great transition that have taken place at this ministry. For years back, when you travel on this road, to even have this place painted was difficult. And so there's something that we should always admit, if we will see that we are getting on the right path, and maintenance to truth is very important. So the midst of setting up, let me say to our motorcycle and tricycle operators in Liberia, this is a great initiative taken, and we do want to appreciate the Ministry of Youth and Sports and our partners for this great endeavor. I remember years back we've been advocating for motorcyclists to be transitioned. And every time people will say motorcyclists and tricyclists are troublemakers, the only thing we are noted for is negative. And today we can proudly say that like the minister already stated, on now to 2029, we will have not less than 15,000 motorcycle and tricycle operators trained. And you as a journalist, if you will see one of our cyclists tomorrow climbing on level and helping to transform our country, and some of them that will be doing carpentry, going out there to move people's houses in Battlefield. And while others will be there constructing bridges and operating heavy-duty vehicles, we strongly believe that very soon, the same motorcyclists people consider as suicide bombers will be considered as agents of positive change. Yeah. Well, we do agree to the fact that every sector there is always elements. Even within the media landscape, we all know there are some people who will never see anything positive about the country. And so the fact that people always say motorcycles are bad people, all of the good things the motorcycles are doing, taking people from one point to another, when some of our old mothers were in a rural part of our country, can I even see car? I remember going to a town called Samista Riverses. I'm told for I know how many years, 18, 20 years, some of the children they are not even see the deal of car. Una motorbike. Alright? And it was surprising to note that the motorcyclists and tricyclists are playing the best role within our society. If all the bikes were back today, you know where our economy would be. You know where our country would be. So we want you, the journalists, to help us in this, propagating this message that indeed, next Friday, everyone should get at the U.S. Post Ministry, wherein we will officially launch for the first time in the history of this country. I remember I started riding motorbike immediately after I high school, 2008. Some of us will know where bike has taken us. All right? And many of our brothers out there today they are surviving through motorcycle riding. Some of them only need somebody to push them. But in this country, we are very good at criticizing people and tearing people down. And I strongly believe this step taking is the act and work of an ego and not the philosophy of a chicken and a crab philosophy. In Liberia and other places, we always criticize and we do not find alternative. We want to say to our motorcyclists, it's our time that we be positive in our engagement. We condemn every act of violence within the motorcycle and motorcycle sector. If you have been following John Kenyon in past years, I have never and ever supported anything related to violence. Follow the records. We have been very constructive in our engagement because we strongly believe that besides motorcycle riding, there are so many other ways we can contribute to our country. But with all of the immense contribution, people are not recognizing that. I remember, and I can still recall, when bike was still on the road here. Many days you will see people running, even the media, the journalists, the students. Once upon a time, our lawmakers, right? Every time I saw them coming to the Capitol building. So the church, the kind of role our sector play. And one thing I want to say here, to all of you, we are begging you, please, the journalists, let this program not just be negatively politicized, but let us all embrace it. And we want the president and the vice president and the national legislature to make this legislation that after Bottas regime, motorcyclists and tricyclists should be privatized, to be trained every year. Where in election, when I'm kind of people use motorcycles, oh, you can't go around. Then after election, they say, no, people are not useful. Let me tell you one of the impacts of the restriction on the new road today. I remember going to JFK sometime last week, and the issue of accident resulting to death on the main road, it has drastically reduced. Drastically reduced. And I strongly believe it is making efforts, and the industry people out there, the major thing we should be concerned about is the safety of our people. So again, we want to say thank you to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I want to say thank you to the government for listening and living up to commitment. We as cyclists, we want to say we remain positive to our country and will contribute in whatever way to making Liberia a better place. So I want to recognize my Secretary General who is here with me, Mr. Jacob Sepa. Thank you.
Okay, so just what I was saying, government knowing that motorcycle riding, even though it's a means of livelihood, but how sustainable it is. So the government has now, the government through the Ministry of Youth and Sport will get these young people who are motorcycle riders, enroll them into technical and vocational schools so they can get a career. And the day you're not riding motorbike, you can be a plumber, you can be an electrician, you can be a carpenter, which is more sustainable. That is how you change a country. You don't change a country by being political about everything. So these are well-intentioned initiatives, and before we take the questions, I just want to add that we are seeing on social media that, I don't know his official name, but Prophet Key was detained by the police yesterday evening. And the media is here. Let me clarify on behalf of the government that his detention is in connection to a complaint that was filed by the National Elections Commission to the Ministry of Justice. wrote a complaint against him that he's involved with some fraudulent thing about concerning voter cards. The Ministry of Justice accordingly wrote the Liberia National Police, drawing the matter to their attention, and as a result of that, an investigation ensued. He was invited yesterday. He went there with a lawyer. So he was invited to be investigated on allegation of fraud. The police later discovered there was something about criminal conspiracy. So he was held in detention yesterday evening. Of course, he has been released to his lawyer today. The investigation continues, and whenever he's needed, his lawyer has showed the LMP that he will be brought in to facilitate the investigation. I thought to say this to avoid speculation on the matter. With that being said, we now entertain questions so that we can go to the press conference or close because we are already against time.
So we know the tradition. Please come and queue, media colleagues.
My name is Samson Oluya, and I work for Liberia Service Network. So my question go to Mr. Sani. Liberians are concerned about the thinking of a key. Was arrested yesterday, like you said, and there are so many Liberians are saying the injustice for a kid because the same act went to a legal self-graduate Kuwor who used his means to get in the University of Liberia, fought out and get out and get some ID number to involve himself in the graduation. But the police have found nothing to at least arrest the surviving of a key, using the entity as
Please.
like I was saying, so the people was allegedly involved in forgery. And the question is, why is the government not doing anything to investigate the arresting of a key? Thank you.
My name is Joseph Kekula and I'm on 231 online TV and website. My question goes to Mr. Simon. Why it is true that the renovation exercise is important? You did not attack the monetary value. How much will it cost for the renovation exercise at Alali? And the next question goes to John A.F. Kim. Capacity building is very essential. I want to know, after the capacity building exercise, what next for those who form part of that exercise? Is there any empowerment program that will come up next? Thank you.
Thanks for coming. My name is Desmond William, and I report for Democracy Watch. My first concern goes to the Deputy Minister of Public Affairs of the Ministry of Information, Minister Daniel Sandhu. Minister, I'm inclined to bring to the government's attention of a recent unrest in the township of Kuwor, located in District 14, wherein there is currently two commissioners. One commissioner who is known as a legitimate commissioner with the president's appointment letter, and another person who is acclaimed as commissioner based on executive mansion publication. So this has sparked a lot of debate and protests in the township, and as a journalist that covers such protests, I'm inclined to bring to the government attention to see how best government can have a mitigation strategies in that